What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, and I'm back at y'all with another one. So, as you see here, former WBO, Australian superstar boxer, son of a legend, Tszyu, that being none other than Tszyu. Tszyu is talking big-ish. He's talking big-ish. At 27 wins, 3 losses, no draw, 18 wins by way of knockout. Twice in his career, he's knocked out. He's 31 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. Tszyu just beat Dennis Nerja via unanimous decision. He hurt him. He dropped him a few times. After the fight, the worst kept secret in the sport of boxing is made official. And that's a showdown between him and former unified 3-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion, superstar boxer, now junior middleweight title contender, Errol the True Spence Jr., who is 28 wins, 1 loss, no draw, 22 wins by way of knockout. Now, after the fight, the buildup for the fight, we all knew that this was next. But Tszyu, he was asked multiple times in the buildup for this fight about Errol Spence. And Tszyu didn't want to commit to it. He didn't want to commit to it, right? Now Tszyu, after the fight, he feels the relief. And he says, when asked about what you want next, he says, gotta wheel him in. It's time to wheel in the big fish. We going big fish hunting. That's what Tszyu said. That's Errol Spence's mantra, right? That's his nickname. That's what he goes by. So Errol Spence, he responded, and he says, oh, you think it's sweet. I'm paraphrasing. Then he said, I'm going to do you bad. I'm not paraphrasing. Now Tszyu, he responds to Errol Spence. And Tszyu says, you saw what happened to your counterpart, the guy from your era. Your era is over. This is what Tszyu's saying. Your era is over. Look what happened to your man, Keith one-time Thurman. Errol is sort of in that generation. That's what I want, and that's what I expect to happen with me and Errol. Now, Tszyu is referring to last weekend, Keith Thurman facing off against former unified WBC, WBO, now reigning WBC junior middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, who took on Keith Thurman, who is from Errol Spence's generation, and he obliterated Keith Thurman, beat him every single round, and then stopped him in the 6th round, right? And he just battered Keith Thurman. But he's 6'6", 80-inch arm reach, southpaw. Keith Thurman's 5'8", 68-inch arm reach, 69-inch arm reach, right? Keith Thurman's inactivity. Errol Spence inactivity. By the time this fight happened, Errol Spence didn't fight in 3 years. So with that said, right? With that said, it's a different style. And Sebastian Fundora, he beat Tszyu twice. He beat him the first time, gave him the first loss on his record, and then he beat him the second time and stopped him. Right? But Tszyu is talking about he going to stop Errol Spence. My thoughts on that. Errol Spence is 5'9.5", nearly 5'10", southpaw, 72-inch arm reach. So he has a 2-inch arm reach advantage. He's an 1.5 inches or maybe 2 inches taller than than Tszyu. He's a southpaw. Tszyu's style is tailor-made for Errol Spence. And I think that Errol Spence is absolutely going to stop Tszyu. I think it's going to be the other way around. I initially said that I think that's going to get stopped in the 9th or 10th round. I think Errol going to stop Tszyu. Just break him down and stop him. Errol is still, I know he took a massive beating against Terrence Crawford. Tim Tszyu ain't Terrence Crawford. He ain't got the style that Terrence Crawford has. If Errol don't got to look for you, even if he do and got to track you down, he'll break you down. But the counterpunch ability of Terrence Crawford got extremely long arms, 74-inch arms, southpaw himself, great counterpuncher, the best fighter of this generation. That ain't Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu ain't twitchy like Terrence Crawford. Tim Tszyu ain't active like Terrence Crawford. Tim Tszyu is vanilla, straight up and down. Come forward. Errol Spence going to break him down to the body. He was getting countered by Dennis Norger. If you watch the fight, Tim Tszyu got counted, got caught with big punches. Dennis Norger just don't have what it takes. Errol Spence do. Errol Spence going to break Tim Tszyu down, right? And he going to stop Tim Tszyu. So I think it's going to be, so for the people that's asking me, I think it's going to be the polar opposite of Keith Thurman. Errol Spence is going to play the part of Sebastian Fundora, and he's a southpaw who's bigger and taller and rangier. And he's going to stop Tim Tszyu. And Tim Tszyu is going to retire or become a glorified gatekeeper. But he talking big, talking up the fight. Let's see how this unfolds and plays out, man. Errol Spence said, I'm going to do you bad. And I believe him. Errol Spence is rejuvenated. I can't wait to see it. There's no way this fight could take place in Australia. No way they can allow this fight to take place in. No way, no how they can allow this fight to take place in Australia. This got to take place at AT&T, Jerry's World, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. That's it. That's all. Not in Vegas, not in Brooklyn, not in Madison Square Garden, not in Houston. No, not in Australia, not in LA. AT&T, Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Cowboys ain't playing anyway. What y'all think? Drop a comment in the comment section. I'm gone. Peace.